So, welcome to Turning Points in Music. This time we have prepared several pieces, but actually only from two composers. One is Giuseppe Verdi, who are commemorating a celebration, 200 years of his birth. And the other one is Ralph Vaughan Williams. I'm going to start with Ralph Vaughan Williams. He was a British composer who took a poem, a set of poems about the sea, the ocean, from an American writer, Walt Whitman. He constructed a symphony. The symphony has 4 movements, and in each of these movements, the chorus is going to be singing parts of this poem. Beautiful, gorgeous lyrics, but also gorgeous music. But something very interesting about this piece is that the chorus is treated in some ways more like an instrument. Yes, you guessed it right. When I talked about Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, how much he was using the chorus as an instrument, I guess a lot of the composers, when they wrote symphonies and they used a chorus, they had that in mind, using a chorus like another instrument. But especially in the scherzo, the movement is a little faster, you know. The scherzo is something that Beethoven created. While in the scherzo of this symphony, the chorus begins to be a little more percussive. They don't sing so much all those big, long lines. They're gonna be more like a something like that, very light. So it would make it difficult for a chorus when they are not used to do that kind of stuff. He has 2 soloists, 2 vocalists. We are having Sally Dibblee to the soprano, and the baritone is Mark Rucker. They're gonna be doing the part of the solo vocal lines. So accompany us, please, and go into this turning point. And I say that's a turning point in music because not too many compositions were written with a chorus with the idea of being an instrument, not a chorus. So pay extra attention to that little detail. Enjoy it. And I have to tell you this time, we're going to be talking about an opera. And it was written for the opening of the Suez Canal. Yes, the one in between Egypt and Asia. Verdi was commissioned to write a piece for that in 1901. And he wanted to really dedicate this to a story. Aïda, it was an Egyptian story, but actually she was not Egyptian. She was a slave taken from a neighbor country, Ethiopia. She's taken with all the slaves to work in the pyramids, and like every love story, something happened and she and the prince fall in love. Of course, that was not accepted by some of the people in the court, and nevertheless she had to die at the end. Of course, it's an opera, someone has to die, you know. But Radames, who was the name of the prince, decides to go and die with her. But the music is being in the charts as probably some excerpts, the most important thing in opera and actually in classical music, because those parts that are called the Triumphal March is when they are coming to bring all those slaves into Egypt to work in the pyramids. And Triumphal March is the one we hear a lot of times performed in graduations. Pam, pa-ka-tam, tam, pam, pa-pam. Remember? Well, that belongs to that opera. And this is the march that we are going to perform. But also in the opera, it has one scene that is done by a ballet. is a ballet scene, and that moment is when all the slaves are dancing to show the people in the court that they are going to be having some fun thanks to the music they are bringing from Ethiopia as well. The opera, of course, was a great success, and we are paying homage to this great composer, Giuseppe Verdi, in doing the Triumphal March and the ballet from the opera Aïda. And that would be the way we will conclude our season, Turning Points in Classical Music. Was the first composer that really was trying to capture the British or the English atmosphere in the music. They were more attached to write Germanically, probably taken all the way from Handel, who was also German, and he moved to England. So when I first heard this piece, it struck me as something really special, because I never hear so much of a chorus being that way. English have always good experience of writing things for choruses, as I said, because of Handel, who wrote many oratorios, including Messiah, of course. There was always a big tradition of choruses, and my impression was like it's almost like trumpets. They don't sound so much like voices. And I said, someday I want to do that piece. So I've been doing it a couple of times. It's a lengthy piece, it's a little bit difficult for the choruses, but I think it's wonderful, and any chorus that can do it means it's a good chorus. Well, this opera, when I was a little kid, I went to a rehearsal, and my father took us, he was playing in the orchestra, and I was very impressed by the production, because in the original scoring, as for the Triumphal March, when the Egyptians are coming back with the slaves from Ethiopia, they also bring lots of animals, including elephants, camels. And I remember seeing one of the elephants going on stage in the march, and I was so impressed that I can never forget that. But then I read a little story that always impressed me, that one British conductor who had a great sense of humor was rehearsing Aïda with another orchestra. My father wasn't playing in that one. It says that everything was going wrong. I mean, terribly wrong. The supposedly slaves that were kind of extras, they were not real singers or dancers, they were just kind of actors hired. They bumped into each other, they forgot the costumes, and the singers were not coming in, the chorus didn't know their part, the musicians lost their place on the musics. So everything was going wrong. And when the elephant came on stage, he went to the bathroom. And you know what the conductor did? He stopped. He put a furious face and looked to everybody and said, "Ladies and gentlemen, your critic, look at what he thinks." So I think it was very funny. Everybody cracked because, of course, that was an accident. But they took it like, okay, let's take it from here. Forget about it. And they all started over. And after that, I hear that was a great performance. So in opera, you always have funny stuff, even though people die. Well, now that we are wrapping things up for the season, so I want to be a little more loose, and I want to thank you all for watching this. I hope that it has been, I don't know, educational or informative, or it has been fun. Music has to be fun, you know? It has to be coming from your soul as well, because we musicians, we put our souls into it. We believe on it, and that's why we do it. And when we deliver it to you, when we make a performance, we also expect from you this. We want you to be performers too. We want you to be part of the concert. I hope with these turning points and with the rest of the season that we are preparing for you and the futures to come, concert to come, that you will enjoy it too. And if you can ever come by to the concert and experience yourself this feeling of being a participant in a concert, please do.